guest that we've got on today. And regular listeners of Ramadan Radio, well, regular listeners of Drivetime, I hope, will know that in the past and this year, we have been celebrating and showcasing and shining a spotlight on some of the amazing work that is being done by our sisters. Alhamdulillah, our sisters are doing some fantastic work. We had Sister Zara Muhammad, the Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Britain, on last week. And we've got some other really fantastic high-profile sister guests coming up in the next sort of days and weeks to come. And today's guest is no exception. She is football mad by her own admission. She was the only female manager out of 400 coaches, one of the first Muslim women to acquire a level 2 coaching badge from the FA, and is also a national ambassador for women in football. She's got that unstoppable mentality where nothing will stop her from reaching her goal, no pun intended. And if you tell her no, it's only going to drive her even further. I am talking about the one, the only, Sister AnnieZ Zaidi. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us first, how is your Ramadan going? How's it been? What's it like in the Zaidi household?
Bit calmer.
Bit calmer?
Yeah, very routined, regimented.
Yeah. Everything's got a time.
Everything's got a time.
Is that because you're a coach? You understand the need for discipline?
100%.
Yeah.
I can still go for my run in the morning after Fajr.
MashaAllah.
Still love my running, still...
How far do you run?
5 miles, daily 5 mile run.
5 miles daily? Wow. Why are you fasting?
100%, yeah.
Okay, that's elite level. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming onto the program. I want to talk to you today about your many accomplishments as a female Muslim football coach. As I was doing the prep for the show, I came across so many accomplishments of yours, mashallah. And I don't know where to start exactly, but all I know is that you've been football mad for over 20 years, and that is mainly down to your 2 elder brothers and playing football with them in the backyard growing up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it started. Everyone thought it would be a phase, but that phase became a hobby. The hobby became a passion, and now the passion becoming a full-time career, inshallah.
Inshallah. So, everyone plays some sort of sports when they're growing up as children, and then football is the majority for most boys. But now, alhamdulillah, we're seeing a lot of young girls taking up football, and the rise in profile of women's football in general is getting more national television coverage. We saw the England Lionesses do incredibly well in the Euros last year, and with the upcoming Women's World Cup in football, it seems like that's only set to grow as in terms of profile, coverage, money into the game, and also getting young girls especially involved in sports. So tell us a bit about your journey, how it all started.
My journey was quite polar opposite. It resonates with the older girl players who ex-professional players for Lionesses, where they had to work full-time to have a part-time career in football. That's how my journey started. I initially didn't think I could pave a coaching career out of my life, you know, because, I'm just an everyday girl from a normal family. No one has any interest in football or sports like I do. My mum says I'm a fourth son that she never had. I'm the one with football boots, I'm the one with the football gear, the tracky bottoms and the wash and everything else. I did my master's in Durham University, and that is a surprise alone. People are like, "What, you got a master's from Durham?" I'm like, yeah, I'm quite a smart girl,
So was this a perception that because you're in football, your academic attainment's not going to be quite high?
Yeah, I was a dropout or a failure. Then when I was like, by the way, I got a master's from Durham University, like, what?
Okay, so tell us a bit about your master's. So you've got it in community and youth work studies.
So initially I went, after my undergrad at English, at Northampton doing English Lit. I love reading. Didn't want to be a teacher, with all due respect. I wanted something where I could wear my trainers and get comfortable and make a change. So I initially wanted to do my master's in community development, where I could go into a third world country and do community relations. But having experience of youth work in Newcastle, where my placement was, I realised there's more work to be done in this country, and the relationship I had and the changes I've made And the rapport I had with those young people in such a short turnaround was like, you know what, this is where my calling is. And through football, we became a tool to changing their mindset. So imagine me being a 5'2" girl from Coventry, coaching a bunch of Geordie lads who know the football through and through in the middle of winter when it's snowing.
Okay, so I want to talk a bit about a bit later on, but I just want to go back a bit earlier. So growing up, you had this love for football.
Yep.
Did you play as part of a school team, or were you frustrated at not having enough opportunity or access to just getting on the field and having a kick about?
The only time we could play was down the local park with our neighbours or friends, or we didn't have the opportunities girls have nowadays, which is frustrating, but that's the reality of how girls football was perceived many, many years ago. Hence the change is so more important now. So even playing with my friends, my brother's friends, was just like, I was in a different world. It was like an escape, and I became alive. I became me. I didn't have no labels. I was that girl on the football.
It felt totally natural.
100%. Yeah.
So running around, kicking that ball.
Freedom.
And what position did you like to play?
I like a winger. I love my running, so I'm down the wing. I love it. Yeah, love it.
Oh, great. Yeah. So I used to, back in the day, I had a bit of a cultured left foot myself. No, left wing.
I thought you were left back.
Left wing. Okay. So I'm left-footed. I'm totally useless to my right foot completely, but it was all my left foot. But okay, so then growing up, as you become, a teenager, Muslim girl, you must have faced a lot of, I don't want to say criticism, but people saying, should you really be doing this?
Yeah, I got it from my mum and dad almost. Like my mum would want me to, weekends was where me and my sister would cook dinner for the boys and learn how to cook, which was fine. But I just wanted to go outside and just get a football and just play, whether it's keep your up against the wall or just the football at my feet was where I longed for. And the narrative didn't change for a long, long time, even in our household, until I made it change.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that people are telling you, stop it, don't do it. When are you going to grow out of this phase? And you're thinking, no, I like doing this. I want to take this further. I want to do this as a career, as a vocation. At what point did your parents or your family or members of your community or your friends think, you know what, actually, there's something about her?
I can say this because my mum's not listening, but when I got the British Empire Medal, we went to the Queen's Garden party, and I took my mum.
At that point, was it?
And then she was nibbling on the cucumber sandwich, drinking a lemonade, living the high life, And there was a lot of security around, so I felt protected. And I was like, Mum, she was like, yeah, in Urdu. And she was like, Mum, do you remember when you told me not to play football and football's not going to lead me anywhere? She was like, yeah. And I was like, but this has led me to share a day with you at the Queen's Garden party. And then she was like,
getting a medal.
Yeah. And she was like, okay, Annie, I can still take my shoe off. I
can still give you a clip round the ear roll,
Despite security. And I think that was the point at the moment because it resonated with her because she was proud. And it's the first time they've been proud. Obviously, the Sky Sports accolade and the Asian Woman Award. But I think that moment there was very special to her.
Do you think there is a reluctance amongst our community, and I generalize the whole South Asia community, to actually embrace that? Because I think sometimes people feel compelled to say to you, stop it, don't do it, because that's what people expect you to say, where sometimes people might deep down think, actually, I want to empower my daughter to see how far she can go.
100%. I even get it in the mosque where they say, oh, mashallah, I'm so proud of you. But in the head that we would never want our daughter to follow your footsteps.
Yeah.
We get that.
You're the exception.
Well, mashallah, I'm so proud of you, All the aunties at the mosque, the uncles were like, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, oh, thank you. But you deep down,
stay away from
my daughter. And that narrative, I can't change the narrative. All I can do is hold my own pen and write my own narrative. If that can change 1 or 2, 3 girls' mindset and the parents' mindset, then my job is done.
Okay. Do you think people see you as some sort of campaigner, that you're just going to brainwash young Muslim girls into becoming sports women?
No, because I think this generation, and I think this is where our generation lacked a lot of role models. And nowadays, it's important that visibility, seeing is believing, especially with this generation, is so lost in who they are in identity crisis, where we were blessed to know who we were and a balance of West and East cultures. I think nowadays, especially young girls, they want to aspire to be someone who they look like them, to make it more certification, that seal of approval. And I'm not a campaigner, I'm just me playing football. If I can, and I have a responsibility in my own community, in society, that if you look like me, you can achieve things and don't let any adversity hold you back, regardless of what adversity today is, from the community, society, financial, or your own personal adversities that you might encounter.
Okay. And just want to talk a bit more about that. So on your website, as I was reading before today, you said that you felt marginalized by the wider community and that you were seen as a bad role model for young Muslim girls. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it's awful. When I completed my master's, I went back to Coventry to do youth work, detached work back in the day, you know. Football was my thing, and I knew the local boys and girls who just hanged around the football court. We played football in the cages, and then I remember this priest, Malana Sahib, came across the road and just told me off, took me snatching football and said, you should not be doing this and that and the other. Even before I got home, my dad got a wind of it, and I got told off. And I was like, well, hang on a minute, Dad. A, I weren't doing nothing wrong. B, I weren't doing nothing illegal. C, whatever that person said was none of his business. So in my eyes, I did nothing wrong.
Just playing football. And that was just one example. So for my own protection, I had to relocate and do my job somewhere else, just because when people know your mum and dad, you've got to be mindful and be protective of if anyone goes around the house and everything else to complain. I didn't want that happening on a daily basis. Did your parents feel that the backlash of that? So were they, because you know what these aunties can be like, were they
and
sort
uncles.
of were they shunned as a result of, oh, there's the parents of that girl who plays football?
100%. They were like, oh, you know, even when we go to the mosque or do events or weddings, oh, mum's like, don't tell him. And Sundays were football matches day or training night, and I'll be late to the mosque or any event. Don't tell him you went to football. I'm like, why not? So I'll be there. Why are you late? Oh, I had a football match. They were like, really? I'm like, yeah, we won though, but thanks. Ready just in time for food. But I'm joking about it, but reality was, mum and dad had to go through a lot, but then in return, I had to face.
And now what does the family feel or see? They must be quite proud, incredibly.
They're like, oh yeah, my daughter's a football coach. Like, okay, mum, you changed your script.
and your brothers, how do they react?
They're like, you got any more free tickets? I'm a free ticket kind of girl, so yeah.
Love that.
So any FA Cup final tickets.
Have you got any tickets, by the way?
I do have them. I do get some, and my little brother like, oh, Bargy. I'm like, yeah, Eid present. Yeah, I've got you sorted. Don't worry.
Okay, nice. Well, you know, when you've got people in the know, you know.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Akil, you want some tickets? No, I don't think they do tickets for like whatever team you support. No. That's fine. All right. Okay, folks. This is Ramadan FM. I'm in conversation with Sister Annie Zaidi, first Muslim woman coach in football. If you've got a question that you'd like to pose or a comment, drop us a text on 077 488 55055. We're here for the next half an hour or so, and it's absolutely intriguing. So, especially the young sisters listening out there, why don't you drop us a comment or a note for Sister Annie, and we'll see what she will say. I want to talk about your first ever training session in Newcastle. So I've got this image in my head of these sort of rough and tough Geordie lads, really. I don't want to say matcha, but very, typically Geordie, ready for a good session of football. And then they see in the distance this hijab-wearing sister carrying a bag of footballs in football boots, thinking, there's something wrong here. What's going on?
And it was cold. Newcastle is not warm. And I loved it. And that was after the tragic events of 7/7. So you can imagine the perception
towards Muslims.
Towards Muslims, especially women in hijab, from wider community, from the media, had an impact on how we were perceived. And I was conscious of that. So when I'm a very confident girl anyway. I'm very assertive. I'm like, right, this is a challenge. I'm going to go in it. And I'm like, you're right, boys. What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to play football. What?
Did they must have thought, hold on a minute, this must be a joke or a wind-up or something.
First rule of thing is you've got to back yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't back yourself, then you will lose before you even enter the pitch.
So it's a test of will,
100%.
nerve. Don't back down.
Don't back down. If you know the game, you'll be all right. If you don't know the game, you won't survive. And we did a little training drill, and they were like, when I was talking football terms, they were like, wow. I'm like,
okay,
yeah.
she knows what she's talking about.
She knows the stuff.
And did they come round to the idea quite quickly? Were they?
No, initially, the first few weeks, they tested me. Cause I played I did play in the cage, and I was giving it all, you know, why not? If you're going to go play, you've got to give it all.
Yeah.
And I came back like I was in the ring with Mike Tyson, like bruised legs,
okay.
and which is good, which is cool. But every time came back, and then the change was in week 4 when another group came to the next cage, and they were shouting racial slurs at me. It's only then those boys
stood up for
me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay.
So they actually said, this is our coach.
Yeah,
we're going to back her.
Do you know what I mean? And then from then on, they came to this youth centre, spoke to him about what they were going through, issues, and with support network. And before you knew it, that became the click. You know, we went, you know, wherever they went, I went. Wherever I went.
So how long did you spend coaching this team, and what was the outcome of your coaching? Did you win the league or win any cups?
No, it was more like a social thing for my work placement. So
okay.
It was more like preventing antisocial behaviour. So it was very in one of the deprived areas of Newcastle, and it was really, really good. It made me who I am today, because when I'm going through that now, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that and I survived, so I can do anything and survive. You got to have that grit about you. Yeah, you have to.
And I suppose the message there is that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
100%.
And you've taken those experiences, you've learned from it, and you've applied it to going forward. And it's now helping you understand, because the benefit of experience is absolutely priceless. Yeah,
we say that every path leads to another path. And from where I was to where I'm now, like a head coach for a National League team, to get that call from the technical director on Christmas Eve 2 years ago, it was like, yeah, I could do it. Do you know what I mean? You always got to back yourself and know that where you're going, and you need to know your stuff.
Okay.
Call out.
Great stuff. Oh, this is fantastic. This is Ramadan FM Drive Time with me, brother Irfhan Ali. We've got Coach AnnieZ in the hot seat, taking some questions from me about her life and career in football so far. You must be the only hijab-wearing Muslim sister in a coaching football role, right? Are there any? I mean, well, you must have been the first, and I'm hoping there are some others now as well.
There are some up and coming sisters, but I'm doing my A license now. Once I'm qualified, I'll be I'm initially the only Muslim headscarf hijab wearing UEFA B license in Europe, if not the world.
So you know, Leicester City, you're looking for a manager right now. Have you received a phone call yet?
No, I'm not going down that route.
No?
No.
Is that because you're from Coventry? And that's
no.
No. All right. Okay. Oh wow. So we'll talk about the B license. I just want to talk about your time managing a Sunday league team, and you were the only female manager out of 400 coaches. Yep. That's incredible. That's like 0.25% as a representation. But you had to step down because of the abuse you were taking. And that must be, must wear you out quite a lot, week in, week out, where all you want to do is test your wits against a fellow manager, a fellow team, to see how far you can go. I want you to tell me about what you experienced. Mm-hmm. I want you to tell me about your time with that league team, what you achieved and where it went. Yeah, so I did after I did my masters of that football thing as a vocation, I did my level 1. I was like, oh, this is better than my masters. And then I was like, right, I always have a personal motto, the fear of being average. What motivates me is the fear of being average. That is my personal motto. Okay. And I think it's quite powerful. My fear is being average. I'm more than average. I think we're all capable of being more than average. So I did my level 2, Is that because, sorry to interrupt, because you are a Muslim woman that you don't want to be labelled as a Muslim woman who is, you know, in the eyes of some, average or has a particular role or needs to fit into a certain compartment?
You're good at questions, aren't you? You're good at your job. My gosh.
Job? I wish I got paid for this. Akira, are you listening?
A bit of both, because I'm always the one who has got to work that extra hard or run the extra mile to make it work, and that's through life, education, day job.
Because I feel, again, as a Muslim man, the need to prove ourselves is double what we have to
100%.
compared to our peers and counterparts. But I'm thinking in the world of football and sport, as a Muslim woman, you're probably, it's like, it doesn't get any tougher than that, does it?
Because you're fighting the society, you're fighting the internal racism, you're fighting your own community. The gender
norms that you're
You're fighting your female counterparts who don't like you taking their jobs, and you're fighting that stigma that you only got the job because you're tokenism. So,
and that's the worst. You're always questioning, am I here on ability 100%. Or am I here because I tick a box?
Yeah. So, that's why I think what motivates me is the fear of being average. And I always got to push myself. But that's my daily motto.
So going back to that senility.
Do you like my motto?
I love that, fear of being average. You know, was it FOBA? Fear of being average? Yeah, we've got a new one now. So forget FOMO, it's FOBA. Okay, girls? And boys, fear of being average shouldn't be a thing. So with the team, how long did you manage them for?
I was there for 2 seasons. We were a brand new team, under 9s, JPL, little Sunday league team, just to get me out of the house because I'll get bored really quickly. Loved it. Where they were to where they were. Few times, oh, you're the coach, or you're the parent. No. Oh, you're the physio. No, I'm the coach. Oh, but you're Annie, yeah. Because before you're going to phone them to confirm games and all that jazz. Oh, you don't sound Asian. Oh, sorry. You're Michael. Oh, you didn't sound white either. I'm one of them people. I might be. I get told off for being ruthless, but I'm ruthless and feisty.
But you have to be, though.
I can hold my own. And you got to come back at them, because if you don't, the game will eat you alive.
So you're managing under 9s. Yeah. They must have not cared if you were a man, woman, Muslim, non-Muslim.
The fathers loved it. The mothers loved it even more, but the fathers loved it because I knew the game, and we ended up second. We were second position. Ended up twice consecutive top half of the table.
Top half of the table.
Yeah, second in the league.
Wow.
So it was good.
And then, when was that point where you thought, I can't do this anymore?
It was coming to the end of the season where I thought, when that man refused to shake my hand, and I tell you what, you men hate losing, but when you lose to a woman on Sunday, you're just brutal.
I think that's another radio show in entirety.
Men hate losing, but men hate losing to a woman, especially in a game of football. They apparently they know more than we do, on your own turf. And he just refused to, just shrugged past. He was a big lad, and he just shrugged past me, like I could feel his weight, and refused to shake hands.
Because you embarrassed him, right?
Of course. And then I was like, you know what? And I was like, I can't do it anymore. To get to where I need to get to, I had to leave the game for my own, to keep my focus and keep the passion alive. I didn't want no one else to take control of my passion or ignite deflame, blow out the passion in me.
Yeah, diffuse the passion.
There you go, diffuse the passion in me, yeah.
Okay, so, it's very clear and apparent that none of that passion seems to have been lost. So that's fantastic. This is Ramadan Radio FM with me, brother Irfhan, in the Drive Time hot seat. Come on, ladies, gentlemen, folks, youngsters, I want to hear from you. Drop me a text on 077 488 55055. Let's give Akil something to do. He's pretending like he's looking into his screen working, but he's not. So drop me a text on 077 488 55055. I want to hear from young Muslim girls, young Muslim sisters who've got an interest and a passion for football. And if you've got a question for Annie, now's your time. I've got a 10-year-old niece, Annie, and she's really showing an interest in football now. So when she comes over, we have a chat about Leicester and how they're performing. And she, you know, I can really see a passion in her. And my brother said to me, she said, right, I'm going to start getting, you know, into weekly coaching sessions and stuff. So I was really pleased to see that. And I think part of it is that now we are seeing women's football more mainstream. We are seeing the success being celebrated. I mean, I think it was a landmark moment when the England women's football team won a trophy. And for so many years, they've been saying, right, you know, 50, 60 years of her or whatever. But now they can't say that because the women say, hang on a minute, we won something last year.
Was it a landmark or was it a failure?
What was a failure?
The success. How many women, with the England national women's team, how many represented the wider society?
Well, I think it's both. I mean, it's success in sporting terms,
right,
but it's probably, I don't want to say the welfare, but let's say more could be done in terms of representation. Yes?
Yep.
And what do you mean specifically by that?
It was great winning because I was there at the opening. I had VIP tickets.
Here we go. VIP tickets. Yeah, we get it. Okay.
It was great. Great for the game. Great for the plug. But then when you got girls from our community who were like, well, hang on a minute, no one looks like me. Why should I watch it? Then alarm bells go on.
But do you think that's going to be a natural progression towards that state? Because I think it's not going to happen overnight.
Of course not. It's not going to happen overnight, but we need to change our mindset into our girls and allow our girls to play football in an environment where it's competitive.
Do you think it's just football or wider sports?
Wider sports in general. Like football a few years ago didn't allow girls with hijab to play football, but now they've uplifted the hijab ban where any girl with a hijab can play football at a national league level, national level, international level. So we have no excuses. It's on us on how we work how we work in our communities to encourage more girls to play football, whether it's recreational or social or in a professional pathway.
Okay, we've got a text come in finally. Thank you, whoever this is. So Coach Annie does a great job coaching our daughter. The girls love having banter with her, an asset to our girls here in Leicester. May Allah bless her always, Ameen, especially for celebrating the girls and increasing them in their confidence. That's an interesting text. Thank you to the sender who sent that. Do you find that some of our young Muslim girls see you as an outlet? So maybe something they can't talk about with their own mother or sisters, they perhaps confide in you around things because they might think, well, she's walked that path that we want to walk, so she might understand it better. And that's not to take anything away from their relationship with their mums.
No, of course not, no. Yeah, 100%, I think. So for those who don't know, I've got the Coach AnnieZ Foundation because I thought from the accolades from Sky Sports, the Asian Woman Award and all this, I thought I need to put something back in the community. Otherwise, all these accolades are not worth anything. All this blessing I'm getting, if I don't put it back into our community, then what is the point? The legacy has to live on. And I've been blessed to start a Coach AnnieZ Foundation at Goals. We've been running for 2 years now.
And here in Leicester?
Yeah, Goals on Wakeley Road. It's self-funded, so if I'm not working or coaching, I'm getting funding.
So what's the aim of the foundation?
To inspire, empower, encourage more girls to just believe their dreams can come true, because mine is becoming true.
And how do you go about doing that?
What, making your dreams come true?
Yeah.
Work hard, resilience, keep focus, and just
don't give up.
Just
be like Annie.
Just avoid the background noise.
Yeah.
Hold the pen and write your own narrative.
Oh, I love that.
Another one.
I love that one. Yeah. Hold your pen, write your own narrative. And I'm a great believer that we need to take control of
100%,
wherever it is,
100%.
on whatever domain, field, industry. Massive shout out to Annie. Great inspiration to our younger female generation. That's from brother Basid Ali. You know Basid, from Basid, CFA. Yeah, he CFA, again, very proactive in trying to encourage. Well, maybe not as proactive as they should be, but, I have heard that they have tried or are trying to do something around increasing uptake in female sport.
So going back to your question about the girls, so the girls come and the mums and dads, more so they're getting the dads bringing them. So we're getting a culture shift and dads bringing their daughters to football. Like, you never think in our day and age, dads are bringing the daughters, which is great. The culture shift has changed and evolved because it's our generation that's changed the mindset. And the girls talk football, learn football. So it's not come and play and come and babysit. It's like learn the trade, and then I signpost them to grassroots football. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of South Asian girls are not making it to competitive teams, because they don't know the basics.
Is it a bit of a Dr. Pepper scenario where if you don't try it, how do you know you like it?
100%. And you've got to have the right environment as well. You've got to have someone who's fun, outgoing, who's passionate, who knows how to communicate with young girls and be patient, but also trust. Like, having a child at your centre for 2 hours is a big trust from parents to let go of, and I get that. So what I do, every end of term, we get parents come in and they are coached by their daughters, and the daughters are coaching the parents like I'll coach them. So you get 50 little Annies around telling the parents I'm very assertive, very bossy. I'm like, sorry, parents.
50 little Annies running around. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad.
I don't know. Yet to find out.
So at the moment, where can people access the fan? Is it just here in Leicester, or do you have other outposts?
We're just at Leicester at the moment, so we're obviously break for Ramadan. We're restarting back on the 7th of May, and we also got funding to do ladies open session as well, to get the mums involved, just as a recreational thing. Yeah.
I think that would be great for some of the mums, even if they don't have an interest in football, it's somewhere where they can meet other sisters and do some other stuff.
Or just anything. I think women empowerment is my thing, and getting more girls and women into football. Even, I think since lockdown, mental health and physical activity is such a big thing. And I'm a great believer of being active and living a healthier lifestyle.
Okay, great. So get involved, sisters, with the Coach AnnieZ Foundation. Check her out on the website. You're doing current work at Crown Hill School, Crown Hill Community College, as a female engagement officer as part of the school sports partnership. What's all that about?
That is a good question. I have no idea. I do know. I do know.
Don't say that.
Female engagement, so I'm part of the school sports partnership. So we oversee 92 schools citywide, primary and secondary. My main focus is Barclays have got an initiative by 2024. They want all secondary and primary schools to have equal access for girls playing football, whereas recreational, lunchtime, extracurriculum or part of the curriculum. And I'll go in to schools and support them into how to set up a girls' football session, or go and support the teachers who don't know how to do it, and just help teachers raise the girl, create an equal access where girls and boys play football at the same time. Okay,
great. So hopefully, inshallah, as you go forward, we'll see more and more access for young girls to take part in schools as well. Now, if I said to you, Les Ferdinand, Chris Hooton, Hope Powell, Chris Powell, they're no longer just people you used to watch on the pitch.
They're in my phone book.
They're your buddies now, right?
Yeah, they're in my phone book.
So, I mean, the likes of Les Ferdinand, Sir Les, as he was known here when he played for Leicester and Newcastle. Yeah. They're actually big mentors and supporters of what you're doing.
100%. I love, and I've got such a great relationship with Sir Les and Chris Ramsey. Chris Hooton, now he's gone to Ghana national team. So when he comes back, he touches base with me and Hope Powell again. But Les and Chris Ramsey are my biggest advocates. I think male allies. They have been from day one. I think they like my feistiness, my sassiness, and my grit.
Because there must be some common elements that you share with them. So I know they talk a lot about having more black managers in football, because at the moment there is no black manager in the Premier League, or I don't think in the whole of the Football League. We had Patrick Vieira who lost his job a couple of weeks ago. But they must see that same desire in you that they have to increase that participation.
Yeah, they do, but they do. But when I got my B license, Chris Ramsey said, "Come and train with us. Come down, take a team just to develop your skills and stuff." And I was like, "No," and he was like, "What? Are you saying no to Chris Ramsey and Chris Les Ferdinand?" And I was like, "Yeah, because they got a great model, they got a great advocate, but the reality is their model, it doesn't replicate, sadly, unfortunately, in the 92 clubs across the country. So again, going back to what we talked about, if I said yes to Chris Ramsey and took the role, then I got sacked or went for another job, I would not know how to fit in to the other clubs where 92% are white male culture.
Yeah.
So for me to actually stand out, work harder, and get recognised for my coaching ability, not that, oh, she only got the job because Chris and Les are both black men. I didn't want that.
But do you think that's, forgive me for asking, do you think that's being a bit too idealistic? Because in an industry like football, a lot of who you know does open doors, and that's a reality.
100%. I might regret it, but
you need to try.
I didn't want an easy route. And I said to Les and Chris and my mentor, I don't want a handout. I don't want my bank of mum and dad scenario. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the way I did my masters, work hard for it and achieve it. If I'm not good enough, then I'm not good enough. But I want to do it my way. And I'm right. I get annoyed. People get annoyed with my attitude, but that's my attitude. I do it my way.
Yeah. Hold your pen and write your own narrative.
100%.
Yeah.
So when I turned Chris and Les down, they were a bit shocked. But then I applied for jobs across the West Midlands, and West Bromwich Albion came knocking on my door at the academy and they offered me a role. And I learned the trade there for a year, loved it. And because it's 99% white male dominant, it's a snowball effect, because I then had the opportunity to go to Solihull Moors, become the National League manager for the women's, made a front page of The Guardian.
Check you out. Come on.
It's just a snowball effect. But if I didn't take that gamble and stay with the demographic of QPR, then none of this would have been possible.
Yeah. And I suppose
I'm all about the longevity, short-term loss for long-term gain.
Yeah, and obviously Les Ferdinand and the likes only had good intentions in terms
100%.
of trying to make it easier for you.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite admirable in your vision and your way of doing things. We've had another text come in. MashaAllah, Annie does a great job coaching my girls every Sunday at goals. She helped my daughter gain her confidence after being in hospital for a long time, so I'm very grateful. And that is a mother there, so fantastic, well done. I mean, that must be really empowering and really satisfying for you to see when little girls come to you and they're quite shy, maybe, not a bit unsure about themselves, and then within a couple of weeks they're just bombing all over the place.
You can hear them before you come on the pitch. You can hear them before you see them. Yeah, like Annie created a monster. I'm like, that's fine, that's cool. She's getting told off in class for talking. That's great. Great, I love that. She stood up for herself. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong in being strong.
There is nothing wrong in being strong, and I think that's a fantastic positive message to take and a way to live your life.
100%.
I think don't let anything stop you. If you've got a dream that you believe in, absolutely go for it. And I'd like to think that's something I'm trying to instill in my daughter as well, who's going to turn 18 this year. I can't quite believe it, but alhamdulillah, I'm telling her, look, if there's something you want to do, go for it. And the same goes for my son as well.
Yeah.
If there's something you want to do, don't let anything hold you back. We haven't got much time left, but I just want to sort of ask this question, if I can. What further work needs to be done to, you touched on this earlier, to remove the barriers in sports for Muslim girls? I'm talking within the system and outside the system.
Within the system, I think we need the right people, because the moment, it's like with anything, like with politics or anything else, when our people get in, they forget where they come from and they shut the door behind them. And we can't allow that. We need the right people in with the right integrity.
So hold the door open.
Hold the door open, don't shut the door open. Like, people, even today, have shut the door on me. Even the other week, they shut the door on me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just go and...
I'll find another way.
I will find a way, because people are getting fat eating humble pie, because the man people said, no, I couldn't, I shouldn't, wouldn't. I'm still doing it.
People getting fat eating humble pie. I love that. Even in Ramadan, people are eating humble pie. Mashallah. Oh, brilliant. So then outside of the system, what do you think is a quick win? If you were to go in there and say, right, okay, these are the top 2 or 3 things that we can do as a community, as a group, as a collective, to help our Muslim girls advance in sport or participate at the very least.
We need to trust the process and trust.
You just said that because you're an Arsenal fan, right?
I love
trust the process.
No, I think we just need to be real and have the same model like education does, like everything else. It has the model, and we need to stick here. We can't. There's no shortcuts to success. There is, but the longevity won't last.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to crash and burn.
You don't want to go peak too high and it crumble down like a roller coaster. That's a good analogy as well.
It is a good. We've had a question come in for you, Annie. Okay. Salams, I have just joined. Great show. Would I be able to join a sisters football class? Is there an age restriction? Can I join as a fresher? I'm not quite sure what that means.
Football class, the language is a bit
what?
Not football league.
Okay, well, I think you can understand what she's trying to say.
Yeah, I'm only joking.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so the sessions start on the 7th of May.
7th of May, put that in your diaries now.
At Gold, depending on how old you are. If you're 8 to 11, it's 10:15 to 11:30 on pitch 12.
Hold on, I need to write this down for my niece. 7th of May.
7th of May, 10:15 to 11:30 on pitch 10.
Pitch 10, yep. Go on, carry on.
If you're 12 to 16, it'll be from 11:30 to 1 on pitch 12.
Yep.
And if you're a young lady, 18 plus or a mum, it will be on the 7th of May, 10:30 to 11:30 on pitch 12.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so
7th
of May, that's when it all kicks off again, if you pardon the pun. I mean, if anything, at the very least, it's great exercise and you're out in the fresh air, meeting new people.
I actually do miss it. I actually miss the girls.
Fresh air meaning I've never played before. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So if you're a newbie, complete newbie to football, what a great way to get involved and meet people and maybe take up something that you will love and hopefully be quite good at. Annie, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. I want to leave the last word with you for all of our young brothers and sisters listening out there. What's he trying to do? This one, don't worry, I haven't forgotten, Akil. Thanks for reminding me. Always on my case. Very quickly, advice to our young brothers and sisters listening out there who want to get involved in sport or might already be involved in sport. What would you say to them?
Keep doing it.
Just keep going. Don't stop.
Don't stop. I love running.
Yeah.
I run just to get away from life.
Great for your mental health.
I love running. I can do 10 miles. I just love running.
10 miles, that sounds too painful to me.
I just love it.
All right, folks. This is Ramadan FM. And as you know, this year we are supporting Leicester Hospital's charity to help them fund and create a spiritual care centre at the Leicester Royal Infirmary, which is where I was born. This space will be used by hospital staff, patients and service users as a place for them to reflect, meditate and be part of the healing process for the community. So visit the Just Giving page, Ramadan Radio 2023. That's Ramadan, Ramadan Radio 2023. And let us help them reach that target of £10,000. Now, I know you're an Arsenal fan, so you must be super happy what the Gooners are doing right now.
I know. Super happy. But the big game will be next Sunday against Liverpool.
Next Sunday
if
against
Liverpool don't turn up like they did against Man City, I'm happy. My Eid come early.
Eid come early. Good. Well, listen, have a fantastic remainder of Ramadan. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon. It's been an absolute blast. I'm just looking over to the fourth official. There is no added time for this program today, so we're going to have to call it there. The final whistle's about to blow. But folks, stay tuned to Zainab Zaim Sattar after the break. She'll be breaking more stereotypes just after 6 p.m. So make sure you stay tuned into her. I'm going to be back tomorrow. And I think my guest tomorrow is the wonderful Sister Aisha Sidat. So make sure you tune in 5 p.m. drive time with me and Sister Aisha Sidat. Awesome guest. Can't wait to have her back on the program and talk to her and find out what she's been up to and what she's been doing. But have a fantastic remainder of your day. Have a fantastic remainder of your fast. Remember us in your du'as. Be good to each other and be good to yourself. That is the message. What was that thing you said, Annie? You said a couple of good things today. One was the hold your own pen and write your own. What was the other one?
Hold your own pen, write your own narrative. What motivates me is the fear of being average.
Fear of being average. Don't be average, folks. And that's my parting